Hello, and welcome to the Michael Buster McMahon Televised Radio Playhouse and Used Tire Company. Why is it called that? None of your business. I'm Michael Buster McMahon, the host of the show, and I'm the 27th most adorable person on local TV. I wrote a couple plays, some of them good, some of them bad. Hopefully you like this one. It's based on an old Aesop's fable about the viper. Let's meet the cast.
Sue Popiano.
Angela Grout.
Andy Price.
And now here is Aesop's viper. Wyoming, 1944. Margaret Sullivan and Violet, two women in their 30s, walk across a field. Wilson, a snake, huddles next to a rock, trying to keep warm.
What good is the warmth of summer without the cold of winter to give it sweetness?
Wow.
Don't be impressed. I didn't come up with it. It's Shakespeare,
Well, I can be impressed that you know Shakespeare.
if you like.
It's so peaceful and quiet this morning.
Yes.
Maybe one of the only places left that is.
For now, someday the war will be over and everybody will be home.
Not everybody.
Oh, now you're not giving up hope, are you?
No, of course not. I know Thomas is alive, but I was just thinking of the others. So many of our neighbors won't be getting husbands, brothers, and sons back.
Thomas will come home, you'll see.
Darnell will too.
And then we'll have the biggest barbecue.
Ooh, speaking of that, I could go for one now. Why is it so cold this morning? Geez, it's April.
Late frost on the ground. Hopefully it won't delay planting this year.
I just don't know if I can go another planting season without Thomas. I'm not talking physically. I just miss him.
Well, I understand that.
I've just been so lonely lately.
Well, you have me.
Yes, of course. But I mean,
Yeah, well, yeah.
well, yes, of course. But I just miss, oh, listen to me, it sounds silly.
I doubt it's not something I haven't thought about myself.
I miss his friendship, you know? Sitting around listening to the radio, going to the movies, swinging on the back porch, playing checkers. It's silly, right?
Not one bit. I miss those things too.
They see Wilson, the snake.
Ooh, ah! No, don't be frightened. Oh, he looks so cold. He's shivering.
He's a snake.
He must have gotten caught out here in the sudden cold front.
Okay, so maybe he did.
I'm going to help him.
No, are you out of your damn mind?
No, it's just the right thing to do.
He could be dangerous. Leave him be, I say.
If it's within my power to help him, I just can't let him freeze out here to death.
And what are you going to do with him?
I'm going to take him back to my house. I'll warm him by the fire.
Oh, what in heaven's sake for? What possible reason could you have?
The right thing is its own reason.
You said you were lonely, but I didn't think you'd take in a snake.
I can help him.
Think sense, won't you? Don't know what he'll do.
All right, I'm going to hurry to get this guy in before he freezes to death. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
She lifts Wilson up, brings him home.
Oh, Lord, that woman is an FOOL.
Margaret carries Wilson into her home and places him on a chair near her fireplace.
Oh, okay, here we go now. Easy there. Okay, I'm just going to set you down on this chair near the fire.
Thank you, gentlewoman. Ah! You scared me.
You scared me.
Well, you didn't seem scared of snakes in the meadow.
No, you scared me because you talk.
Apparently, I do.
But
How? Same as you, I guess.
snakes don't talk.
Or maybe you just never saw one before who had much to say.
Oh my Lord, now I know I'm losing my mind. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me get you a blanket.
Oh, thank you, gentlewoman.
And you have a British accent?
So it would seem.
Why?
Why what?
Why do you have a British accent?
Okay, I'll play this game too. Why don't you have one?
Well, because I'm not British.
Maybe I am.
A British snake? Wow. What am I saying? A talking British snake. Well, what's your name?
You can call me Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
That's very odd.
Well, not really. I mean, why would you say that?
It just doesn't seem,
Snake-like?
well, yes.
Well, what would you think would be an appropriate name?
I don't know. Something like Sammy.
Well, how do you know that's actually not my first name?
It is? I guessed it right?
Sorry, it's Al.
Al? Al Wilson?
Not snake enough for you?
Well, if that's your name, that's your name.
And your name is?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Margaret. Margaret Sullivan.
Margaret Sullivan.
No, it's just Margaret Sullivan.
So, is it safe to assume that your husband is Farmer Sullivan?
Yes, Thomas Sullivan.
I don't know.
Why?
Well, it doesn't sound like a farmer name.
I get what you're doing. I'm sorry.
Farmer Brown. Now that's a farmer name.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson. This is just all but a bit strange for me.
I imagine it is.
I know something that will warm you up.
What?
A hot toddy.
What's that?
You're British and you don't know what a hot toddy is?
I'm not British. I'm actually from India.
India?
Yes, yes. I probably picked up the accent from our colonial overlords.
Wow.
I'm an Echis carinatus.
A what?
Well, more commonly known as a saw-scaled viper.
Are you,
Am I what?
are you,
Oh, you want to know if I'm poisonous.
well, I don't want to pry.
Well, self-preservation is a natural instinct. Better to be wise by the misfortunes of others than of your own. I'm not in the top 10, if that brings you any comfort.
Some. So, you're from India,
Yes.
but your name isn't Indian.
How do you know? Are you a name expert?
I'm sorry, no.
I apologize for my tone. I mean to cause you no discomfort.
Well, how did you get here in Wyoming?
I had to leave my home some time ago.
Here, let me make you that toddy. It'll fix you right up.
All right. Thank you, gentlewoman.
Margaret goes to the kitchen.
It's so nice having company.
You live here alone?
For now, my husband's off fighting in the war.
Well, I hope for his safe return.
Thank you.
You don't have any children?
Not yet, but I hope to when he comes back. How about you?
Children?
Yes, do you have any?
I have a son and 2 daughters.
That's it?
That's it. I outproduce you 3-1.
Well, no, I just thought snakes had lots of offsprings.
I only participated in the one batch, and it was on the smaller scale.
Do you see them?
It's been a while.
Margaret returns to the living room.
Do you have... I'm so silly.
What?
I was going to ask you out of habit if you happen to have any pictures of them on you.
No, that would be difficult. But I can tell you that they look a lot like me.
Do they have names?
When you have a child, are you going to name it?
Well, yes. So silly me. You did as well.
Tony, Arlene, and Sharon.
Very nice names.
Not snake-like at all, though, right?
Very snakeable names. Oh, is that even a word?
Well, I come from the school of thought that you can make an adjective out of any word without being soured at.
I just love the way you talk.
Well, it's just the way I do it.
It really livens the place up,
Margaret returns to the kitchen.
You keep implying that you're lonely. Are you?
I am, very much.
You don't have many friends?
Oh, I have Violet. You met her.
Ah, yes. Wasn't that fond of her, actually?
Oh, that. Well, you see, she was just being concerned for me.
Yes, that would probably make her a good friend.
Her husband is in the war, too.
Oh,
He's a red tail.
coral or boa?
What?
Is he a red-tailed snake?
Oh, no. He's a fighter pilot, silly. Bomber escort with the Tuskegee Airmen.
Oh, the Tuskegee Airmen. Well, then I hope for his safe return as well.
Thank you.
I'm hesitant to offer a theory to you about your loneliness.
No, go ahead. Right, go ahead. It won't bother me.
Well, how do you know that you're not,
Imagining this whole scenario of having a delightful conversation with a snake that I found outside.
Well, this is old hat for me, but surely this would be headline news for you.
So then tell me, Mr. Wilson, and be honest.
It's one of my traits, despite what myths people assume.
Am I imagining all this, or are you real? Is this actually happening?
I look pretty real to me.
Me too.
So, then you're not crazy.
Yeah, I'm not crazy.
How do you like farming?
Well, it's not my first choice, of course, but it became a necessity.
What was?
What was what?
Your first choice?
Oh, a restaurant owner.
Oh, how exciting.
This was my parents' farm, and well, they're gone now.
I'm sorry to hear that. What was their name?
Alexa.
Farmer Alexak. Yes, that doesn't ring right either.
Oh, come on. I already apologized for that.
Yes, you did. I'm sorry. Please continue.
Thomas?
Your husband?
Yes. He came up from a very well-off family. Not rich, but had money to spare after necessities.
She returns to the living room.
Now here, take this.
I can't.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. There I go again. You don't have arms. How are we going to do this?
Well, just set it down there. I'll manage. Thank you for your kindness.
So where was I?
Spare money after necessities.
Oh, yes. Well, Thomas and I did. We did it.
Did what?
We did open a restaurant.
Good for you.
Wilson blows on the toddy.
Yeah.
Isn't it odd that we blow on hot things to cool them down? And yet, when I was in the meadow, I was blowing on my tail to keep it warm.
You know, I never thought of that. That is weird how it works that way.
So, your restaurant, it didn't take?
For the first year, we did really well. We were the only restaurant in a small town. And then another man opened one.
Uh-oh. What was his name?
Alfredo Giordano.
Ah, now that's the name of a man who should have a restaurant.
Yeah, he was a poor man, but he poured his heart and very soul into that restaurant, and soon he was outdrawing us.
You had no chance.
No, but we should have. We had more money to invest, we had a nicer place, and maybe I'm biased, but we had better food.
And Alfredo Giordano? What did he have?
Gumption.
A big family?
Yeah, he did. How'd you guess that?
Let me tell you a story about a dog I knew once.
You're friends with a dog?
No, I just knew him once. This dog was a fast dog, a really fast dog, and one day he was chasing a rabbit, and all of us could see him do so. He ran straight to that rabbit, and we all thought he was going to catch him.
But he didn't.
No, he did not. The rabbit got away.
Oh, well, what does that have to do with our restaurant?
Well, we all laughed at that dog. How can you let that rabbit get away? And what he said stuck with me all these years, and I think it pertains to your situation.
What did he say?
He said, it's all about motivation.
Motivation?
Correct. He said, I was running for my dinner, but that rabbit was running for his life.
How very wise.
Yes, and that's why I hung on to it. You were right about this. What do you call it?
A hot toddy.
Yes, it's making me feel warm. I had a human friend once. He was a farmer too.
What happened to him?
We had to part ways. A bit of a falling out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No need to apologize for something that didn't involve you.
I mean, I'm sorry to hear.
Oh, thank you.
So what happened?
Oh, I don't like to talk about it. I'm sorry I even brought it up, actually.
Sometimes talking about it feels better, and I'll listen.
You'll also judge.
No, I don't do that.
Well, you won't do it intentionally, but try as you might, it's impossible to deny one's own nature.
Okay, then try me.
Try you?
Tell me the story and see if I judge.
You will.
I will not.
Very well. One day, the farmer's son stepped on me. It may have been an accident, but I reacted the only way my nature would have it.
You bit him?
I did.
Was he all right?
No, Mrs. Sullivan, he was not.
How awful.
Are you judging?
No, not you, just the situation.
The farmer, my longtime friend, took an axe to me.
Well, I bet he was upset.
Quite understandably. Well, he missed me several times, but he did damage my tail.
Ooh, how was that painful?
Very.
I'm sorry to hear.
We avoided each other for months, and finally, the farmer reached out to me.
How?
How?
How did he reach out?
He yelled out in the backyard, "Mr. Wilson! Mr. Wilson!"
Did you come out?
Well, I was skeptical, of course, so I kept my distance. But he offered a truce, as he still valued our friendship and understood I only reacted out of instinct.
Well, what did you say?
Well, I thanked him for the offer, but told him, no, it could never work. There was absolutely no way either of us would or could ever forget the harm we had done to each other. So I moved on.
Wow, such a sad story.
Very.
I'm sorry.
You shouldn't keep apologizing for things that you aren't responsible for.
Well, can I apologize for making you tell the story when you didn't want to?
Yes.
Right,
Yes,
well,
you
I'm
can.
I'm sorry for doing that.
Accepted. Now, does your husband have to stay until the war is over, or does he get to come home at some point?
Well,
Mrs. Sullivan, are you okay?
yeah, it's just, I don't know.
Well, now it's my turn to apologize. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable.
No, I don't know where he is.
Well, I'm sure war secrets and so on and so forth.
No, he's listed as missing.
Oh, I see.
Yes, but
That doesn't mean that he won't come home still.
exactly. Maybe they don't know where he is. Maybe the Germans have him.
I'm sure of it.
Me too. I mean, I don't know what a woman whose husband is dead is supposed to feel. I just know I don't feel that at all. So he's alive somewhere and he'll return.
And we can all dine at Giordano's restaurant.
Well, it's gone.
The restaurant? But it was successful, no?
As you can imagine what war with Italy did to his business.
Ah, yes. He's an Italian rabbit.
Is it wrong to just wish things to be the way they were?
Now, you don't want to do that.
Why on earth not?
Well, we would often be sorry if our wishes were gratified.
I don't know about that.
Wishing the war never happened is indeed a grand wish, but one that might be just as dangerous, or more so.
How could it be? Clearly you can't debate that the world would be better off without this war.
Inevitable.
No, I don't believe that.
Everyone is afraid of snakes, but it is man that is the most dangerous of God's creatures.
Well, I guess you can't put much of an argument up against that.
It is man's nature to fight with man.
Do snakes fight each other?
Well, not in the circles that I run in. If I see another snake, I just wave. Well, not wave, of course, but I just sort of nod my head.
But why do you think my wish is dangerous?
All wishes have that potential. Did you ever hear about the frogs who wished for a king?
More friends of yours?
No, I'm afraid I'm not popular amongst the frogs.
Oh yeah, I guess that would make sense.
Well, these frogs asked God for a king, one that could lead over them and one that they could shower respect on. So the next day, a log falls into the pond with a big splash.
Ooh, that must have startled them.
You'll bet it did. Well, at first they were excited, but they soon realized that this log couldn't lead them, and nor was it something they could shower respect on. In fact, it was the opposite. They jumped on it without any resistance. How could God have gotten their wish so wrong?
But that's not a dangerous wish.
The next night, the frogs prayed for a proper king. Now, either through coincidence or just God being tired of being pestered by them, a large bird arrived.
This isn't going to end well, is it?
Well, the frogs were elated. Truly, this would be a proper king. But no sooner had the bird arrived than the bird caught the frogs and started eating them. As they ran, they shouted, "Send us back the log, Ribbit!"
So be careful what you wish for.
I would have put it in a different way, but yes.
Well, how would you have put it?
It is in vain to expect our prayers to be heard if we do not strive as well as pray.
But I don't understand. I mean, I can't do anything about stopping the war.
All right, I will give you the point on that one.
Well, I'm going for 2 points then, because I don't see how wishing for no war have, for a lack of a better saying, be like getting eaten by a bird.
The war to end all wars was what they called the last one if I'm not much mistaken.
Yeah, they said that.
With a war such as that, the machines invented would prove so horrible that nations would resolve never to do battle again.
Naive hope.
So let's say your wish were granted, and instead of war exploding now, say all those problems from the aftermath of the last one festered for another, say, 30 years or so. Can you imagine the weapons man will have then? What kind of devastation and death would come from such a conflagration?
All very true, but Mr. Wilson, I'd have my Thomas here now, wouldn't I?
Oh, I'm sorry. Now I'm the one being rude. Of course, go ahead and wish away.
I do every day, every damn day I do.
Tell me the first thing you'll do when he comes home.
Oh, I will hug him and hold him and squeeze him.
Careful, I have a few cousins who kill that way.
Oh, he'd be in danger of that because I swear I'd never let him go.
I believe you.
And then I'd cook him the biggest steak he ever saw, bigger than his leg,
Ooh, yummy.
with corn on the cob.
And baked potatoes.
Yes, with sour cream
And
and
gobs of butter.
and ice cream. I miss that.
You don't have ice cream now?
Well, I do, but it sounds weird to say, but
Doesn't taste the same.
no. Isn't that weird?
My dear gentlewoman, just about everything I've heard a human say sounds weird.
Okay, so without grossing me out, what's your favorite meal?
Well, I have a wide palate. For sure, rodents, insects, and ooh, scorpions. Have you ever tasted scorpions?
Certainly not ever.
So good. But I do find myself enjoying some human dishes at times. Chicken, for example.
Won't you stay for lunch? We can have chicken.
Oh, I don't know if I can stay that long. I've already put you out.
It's no put out at all. I really enjoyed your company. As I said, it's been very lonely here.
I will consider it.
Good. And feel free to stop by whenever you like.
And when your husband comes home?
I'll tell him what fine company you are. And he'll be here when he's done conquering evil.
Is that what he's doing over there?
Well, he has help, I'm sure.
Just to play devil's advocate, if I may.
You've earned that.
Thank you. Why is the other side always the evil one?
What?
Well, it's easy to call the other side evil and your side good.
Well, clearly we are on the side of right when the other side wants to take over the world.
But the whole concept is flawed.
Not really.
The concept of being good, the concept of being evil is indeed flawed.
How so?
There are those that would judge me for swallowing a rat, a spider for paralyzing a bee, a shark for eating a dolphin, as evil.
So you're saying it's nature.
Exactly. Following one's nature is neither good nor evil.
I don't know if that's absolute, though.
When a wolf sees a shepherd eating a lamb dinner, is he not justified in thinking to himself, "What an uproar this shepherd would make if it were I who were doing the very same thing"?
Perspective. You do speak some truth with that, I'll admit.
It gets me in trouble.
What does?
The way I go about my beliefs. I'm like the bald man with two fiancées.
Oh my, that does sound like trouble.
One of my fiancées is the truth, and the other one is politeness. It's difficult to keep a smile on both of them.
So,
What?
how does the bald guy fit into your analogy?
Oh, it's an old story.
Well, I don't know it.
Well, there's a man engaged to a beautiful woman much younger than he, as well as to a wealthy woman much older.
Well, which does he choose?
Doesn't matter.
Why not?
Well, it doesn't matter to the moral of the story.
Oh, okay.
Well, while the man slept, the younger woman plucks out his grey hairs so that he can look younger to her. And the older woman plucks out all his black hair when he sleeps so that he can look older to her.
And it ends up that he's bald. That's a funny tale. I mean, the moral is you can't make two different camps happy.
Pretty much.
You're so wise for a snake.
What?
What?
Wise for a snake?
I didn't mean to offend.
It's okay.
No, it's not if I offended.
It's okay, Mrs. Sullivan. I have to live with our stereotypes.
Well, that's not fair.
Life really is. I'm apart from my children. You're apart from your husband.
True, but I really am sorry for that. I hope I didn't ruin the evening.
No, trust me, you haven't.
Again, I'm sorry.
Not another mention, please. So, what do you do to pass the days away?
Well, I have my farming, and I like to read my Bible.
The Bible.
It brings me comfort during these times.
As it should.
Have you read it?
Oh, yes.
Probably not a fan of the way they portray serpents. Oh, I'm sorry.
For what?
Is serpent a derogatory term?
No. That's perfectly acceptable. Yeah, I don't have a problem with the Bible over that, as much as I do with its whole concept of good and evil, as I brought up before. But as a piece of literature, it is truly remarkable.
Do you?
Read?
Yeah. Do you?
I do, yes, absolutely.
Oh, I shouldn't keep being surprised by you.
I do enjoy powerful spiritual speeches. When the wicked advance against me to devour me, it is my enemies and mine foes who will stumble and fall. Though an army besiege me, my heart will not fear. Though war break out against me, even then I will be confident.
Psalms, am I right?
Quite right. Shakespeare I adore as well.
Violet loves Shakespeare.
Oh, so she does have some taste.
Yes, sometimes she's right.
Shakespeare was so good. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it.
That could be your motto.
It very well could be.
You're so educated. How is that so?
I pay good attention. You have to in the animal kingdom.
You could have been successful in business, I bet.
Oh, if I were a man, I think I would enjoy being a preacher very much.
Really?
Oh, yes.
But you don't believe in the basic concepts of good and evil.
But how pleasant, though, it must be to be able to stand in front of your fellow man and tell them that they're all going to hell.
Well, I don't think that's the nature of the job.
Oh, I love a good fire and brimstone sermon, though. It's so grounding for the soul.
I bet you would be good at that.
Oh, I would be my generation's Jonathan Edwards. I would stand tall,
He gets out of his chair.
as though there would be a very great manifestation of his almighty power in what the fierceness of his wrath should inflict, and then what shall be the consequence? What will become of the poor worm that shall suffer it? Whose hands can be strong, and whose heart can endure? To what a dreadful, inexpressible, inconceivable depth of misery must the poor creature be sunk, who shall be the subject of this?
Wow.
Oh, Sister Sullivan, can you not feel your soul come alive with these very words? Feel your true purpose in life.
I feel it.
You sit there, and with the world in total confrontation, you have every reason to wonder that you are not already in hell. It is doubtless the case of some of you whom you have seen and known that never deserved hell more than you, and that heretofore appeared as likely to have been now alive as you. Their case is past all hope. They are crying in extreme misery and perfect despair. But here you are in the land of the living.
Preach, Brother Wilson.
And you will eternally curse the day of your birth. Oh, yes, I feel it through my very skin. To deny yourself who or what you are is to sin against nature, and by that extension your very God you claim to love and know so well.
Amen.
For now, as the serpent shall rise,
Stands tall.
and the axe is laid at the root of all that groweth, and every tree which bringeth forth not good fruit may be hewn down and cast into the
He
fire.
gives two quick bites to Margaret's leg.
Ouch! Ah!
Whoops, I seem to have gone too far. My sincere apologies.
But why, Mr. Wilson? Why would you do such a thing? You know you're poisonous.
Silly woman. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
But I saved you. You're evil, pure evil.
Evil?
And this is my just reward for helping evil?
No one has evil inside of them, telling them what to do. There's only one thing in command of us. Try as you might, it is impossible to deny one's own nature.
Fade to black. And it's within my nature to thank you for being here today. I wish you a good evening. I want to thank the cast and crew at Channel 15, and we hope that you join us again. I am Michael Buster McMahon. Drink your milk, look both ways before crossing the street, and never ever give up your dreams.
Good times are coming your way.